Swing. How's it going, big guy? Crimson? Yeah. Moose. Kappa. Buddy. Kigali. Chucklebutt. She's healing. And Atira. So, check this out, guys. My tomato garden. Which I did not plant. With all the crazy bullshit that I got going on this year. Well, I wouldn't say bullshit, but with craziness, especially starting next week, I was not going to plant a tomato garden because just didn't think I was going to have time for it. But I reported on this about a month or so ago. The garden started itself. I left a ridiculous amount of tomatoes, like rotten ones and green ones from last year, sitting in here, that the garden decided to just say, hey, we're going to grow anyway. And boy, have they grown. My goodness. I was just recently in there a moment ago because all these vines here, they look disheveled because I was just moving them. They were all crawling across the ground, and I don't have anything to string them up with at the moment. So I just put some of these posts in here at an angle and moved the vines over onto them so that they have something to climb them up instead of crawling across the ground. So when I get to the store next, I'm going to try and get something to tie these up with. So actually I got some old towels I can probably cut up and use to string them up with, but for the moment this is working. So pretty darn cool. And I got a lot of tomatoes coming in. First ones I can see right there immediately. This was the first plant right over here in this corner that came in, and you can see a big old bundle of tomatoes right there, and right there, and right there, and there's tons of them. I need to get in here and kind of trim these back too, maybe, I don't know. When I did it last year, I had more trouble with the plants dying than I did them actually surviving, so I might not do too much clipping this year. Like here's one that's growing outside of the pen, or outside of the garden area. It's pretty darn cool. So I'm gonna have some tomatoes this year, hopefully. I already caught copper in here once, and I had to put a second layer of fencing around here and make it a little bit tighter. But that's okay. And there's some right there too. A bunch right in there. I know there's a ton in here. They're just hard to see since they're green and everything else is green. But they'll start showing up here soon. But pretty darn cool. I'm very eager for an even larger garden. Looks like this one fell over, and it's actually healthier leaving it laying like that, because if I turn it up, then it's not gonna, because it'll grow better leaving it down. It'll probably die if I pull it up. That's okay. Still tons more. Man, these plants are already... Yeah, some of these plants are already almost 5 feet tall. No, 4 feet. Since they're on a foot of bed. So, anyway, cool. One more week to go, guys. We close next week on the 8th. But so much to do. So much to do. Much like this turf growing through, grass growing through the edges of the turf, causing me issues. I've just been using a weed whacker and whacking it back. I've tried pulling it out, and it's just a pain in the butt. It doesn't work too well. I'm not gonna screw with this turf out in the country. I almost thought about pulling this up and dragging it out there, but I'm just like, nah, it's not worth it. It's too much work. If you guys remember, this is 33,000 pounds of turf back here. It's heavy. And it would take dozens and dozens of trips to drag this out onto a trailer and haul it up to that property, and it's just not worth it. It'll be easier to sell the house with this turf left in here, since it's shaped for it too. So somebody else can deal with putting down grass and weed killer or whatever and getting rid of all this growing up between, but I'm just weed whacking it. It's easier. And I've mentioned it before, but this turf gets ridiculously hot. I'm wearing slippers at the moment, but I've walked out here before with socks on when the sun's shining on it, and it's still coming through almost scalding feeling. So I can't even imagine what it's like for the paws on these dogs. I try to keep them in the shade, but most of them understand and stay out of the direct sun when it's really hot, and they walk through the shaded areas. But some of them haven't learned, like Moose. He just walks right over it and apparently doesn't faze him. He likes pain. He's weird. But most of the others are learning. The pups are learning. Hello, puppies. Are you guys learning about the hot turf? You are. And you're getting big. Yes, you are. Hello, gosh. I think they're hungry. We haven't eaten today yet. So they're just like, Dad, when are you going to feed us and stop talking? Alright, puppies. Let's go get some food. Let's go get food. Let's go. Come on, pups. You ready for some food? Yeah. Still little munchkins, but they're getting bigger. Callus is definitely going to be bigger than Crimson, though. She's the one on the right. You can just tell she's got a much... Seems a little bit more elongated body, a little bit more filling. Crimson's a little bit thinner. And just paw-wise, they're pretty close, but you can tell she's a little bit bigger. So... Buddy boy. You've been hanging out in the pool? Yeah, wait until you have a lake and a creek to play in. Come here. Yeah. It's finally happening, big guy. I got you a creek to play in. You sure did. And a lake. It's going to be awesome. You and Kune are going to be the first two to visit the property. I don't know about the very first time because I got to get out there and do some clearing first to help prevent the ticks more, and then spray you guys. But yeah, boop. But you'll be the first two to test out the creek, and I don't know about the pond right away because I need to do a little bit algae cleaning first. Just make sure you don't get sick and die on me. That'd suck. But yeah. But I think the first two times I go out there, I don't know, it depends on how long I spend out there the first day, but I should be able to get a considerable amount of clearing done. And, but you'll be able to come out there soon. Yeah. A couple more weeks. Hopefully only 2 at the most. So we're going to go out there next week after we close. I think the day of or the day after closing, and then a couple days later on the weekend we're going to go out. And then a couple more days after that we're going to go back out again. So we're going to try and go out at least 2 or 3 times over the next week and a half. It's going to be awesome. Get as much clearing done as we can and start stacking up the trash in one area so they can just throw it all in a dumpster really quick when I rent one. So you guys are going to be loving it. Talk about. And of course I need to get fencing before I can bring all of you. So anyway, this is going on forever. You guys are hungry. You guys want food? Yeah? Alright, see you guys later.